What is going on, everybody? It is your boy Zary, and before we get into the video, I just want to remind everybody, if you're under level 15 and you want $10 worth of free stuff, go to your settings, go to use promo code, and type in XMG Gifts. You do that, you'll get $10 worth of free stuff. It helps support the channel. So if you're under level 15, make sure you're using that promo code XMG Gift. Enjoy the video. What is going down, my YouTube family? It is your boy Zary. We are back tonight to talk a little bit about the new dwarf in Toole. And there is Toole. I love the character design, the smoke machine. The smoke coming out of that machine just looks fantastic. And, you know, we're going to do this like we always do. The stats you are going to hear is gear 11. The playtesting will not have any T7 abilities put on to them. We will talk about them, but you won't see that in action. He'll be paired with the other dwarves. So, you know, I just want to do that. And then once I get out the new video, I T7 them and then see where we go from there. So we are going to talk a little bit about Toole, and we are going to start like we always do with the stat breakdown. So let's get over to that. Toole is a dwarf tactician and a rogue, and I like the rogue theme for him. I like the fact that he has guns and is a rogue. You know, they got the knives on there, but I like that. So Toole, there are, with the addition of Toole and Ambo and Lance, I do believe we are up to 76 characters, 75, right in that range. So we are gaining. I remember covering this game and there's like 35, 40 characters. So yeah, pretty cool. But anyways, Toole, health and shield. Health comes in at 23,740, puts him at 22nd. So again, the trend is continuing with these dwarves and half pigs that they're survivable. You know, their health comes in good. Shield, 22,841, 47th in the game, a little bit below average, a little bit on the low side. Health and shield combination is a little bit above average at 46,851. Speed, 140, tied for 18th. Tied for 18th doesn't sound bad, but there's like 30, 40 characters above that. So getting a little convoluted there. 140 for rogue tactician. Little bit like we're between the 140 and 145 range, I guess, is average. Crit chance is very good though at 30.11. 12th in the game. So that's what we like to see out of a damage dealer. We like to see those crit chance, that crit chance up there. Physical damage though, 33rd. I was hoping for a little bit more physical damage out of him. 2,763. So we can work with that. Physical armor percent, really good. 15th in the game, 36.19. But magic, tied for 40th. This is like the bottom quarter of the game at 29.39. So magic damage dealers, the dwarves, we're seeing a theme here where AoEs can essentially mess this team up pretty good, and most of the AoE people are magic damage dealers. You know, when you think about it, I mean, yes, there's Thelaine and Mar, but you have Ember, Lake, Freezard, Thalia. You know, the list is much greater for the magic AoE damage dealers, so kind of concerning. Potency 29%, tied for 23rd, and that's pretty much bang dead center of the game. 29 to 30 potency, but it's not like 4, so it's a plus, right? So we're going to talk a little bit about Toole's stat takeaways. Health and shield combo, I got to give him a plus for the health and shield combination. I mean, his shield's a little low, his health's a little high. He was like 46,000, right in that range. Definitely doable for a rogue. You can push him over that 50k threshold. Pretty solid. Magic armor is a negative. I mean, like we talked about, we're seeing that trend of magic armor being low. AoE is already hurting them by removing charge when they get hit, so we'll see if that trend continues. Potency plus for this guy. It is dead center of the game. He is going to need potency, but not a whole heck of a lot. So it's a good balance here. Speed I have as a plus and a minus because we've definitely seen worse speeds in the game. But he is a rogue tactician, so he's not a massive damage dealer, but what he brings to the table, pretty solid. So you're going to want a little more speed on him. And then physical damage, that's what he's there for. Spread those debuffs, physical damage on the low end, so that is a little bit concerning. So we're going to jump back into the game, check out his move kit, and see what we got. So like I said, I got him, right now I have him gear 11 plus, obviously for the gearing videos, but we're going to jump into his move kit, and we are going to talk about cold-hearted maneuver. Now, this is level 7, so we're going to take this down to level 6. So, attack to an enemy 2 times. Each hit deals 130 physical damage, consumes 20 charge. For every 1% of charge consumed, gains a 5% chance to inflict armor decrease for 1 turn on the first attack. If the target is inflicted by armor decrease, the second attack afflicts heal block. So, let's just talk about what we need there first. What we need there first is potency, right? We're seeing potency. And he does 130 physical damage. And you're like, well, it's kind of low. With dodge being removed from the game, it's actually a basic that hits 260. It's pretty standard for basic. Actually, kind of almost on the higher end. But the cool part that comes in is for every 1% charge consumed, he gets a 5% chance to inflict armor decrease on the first hit only, right? But if you use all 20 charge on a basic, you're guaranteed to put that armor decrease on. Now, let's go back to Zappy and Boardwin, who put on armor decrease and extend armor decrease. So we're seeing move kits tied together. But the cool part is, you're only going to go through 1 potency tenacity check, right? For that armor decrease to stick. Then if it does stick, the second attack comes through for heal block. So pretty cool, because Boardwin has that AoE armor decrease, and then Zappy can extend it all. And then he can come in and say, we already have that, I'm going to put on heal block on a basic ability. Pretty solid, really like that. And what happens here on the tier 7, not a bad upgrade. 160 physical damage brings it up to a 320 basic attack if both of them hit. And then you have the armor decrease and heal block lasting for 2 turns. So, not a bad T7 at all. Jumping over to his second ability here, serious injury. Let's get that up to tier 6. So again, he attacks an enemy 2 times. Each attack deals 215. So if both of them hit, you're looking at 430 physical damage. Consumes 20% of charge. For every 4% of charge consumed, gains a 20% chance to inflict bleeding. With each attack for 2 turns. Now this is tier 6. If both attacks hit an enemy, inflict bleeding and ability block for 2 turns. So, bleeding right there, plug and play viability. He's got a short cooldown, and he can put bleeding on for 2 turns. Because if you have 20% charge when you use this, it's only going through that 1 potency tenacity check. Now, ability block, heal block, armor decrease, bleeding. He's got some good debuffs. Tier 7, all it does is bring up physical damage to 260, but you're looking at 520 if both of them hit. So, you know, I actually like his basic over the serious injury one a little bit better, but we'll rank them all at the end there. Moving on to his third ability, Mountain Fog. Let's make sure we're on T6. Attacks an enemy 2 times. 230 physical damage, so we're at 460. Both of them hit. If the target is inflicted by bleeding or an armor decrease, each attack restores 20% charge. Gets invisibility for 2 turns. So, potency again, physical damage. Pretty easy with this guy so far, right? So each attack, if the target is inflicted by bleeding or an armor decrease, so he's putting on the bleeding on his A2. Every dwarf has an armor decrease built into their move kit. So that is just super beneficial within and of itself. Then each attack restores 20% charge. So, and this can be used first. So you use this move first. The hard part is like getting them speed tuned. You kind of want to speed tune the dwarfs, and we'll get into a little bit of that because you want an armor decrease or bleed on before you use this. So you can start your next move with 40 charge because it's each attack. And then he becomes invisible, making his survivability a little bit better. You know, that's again why AoEs are hard against a hard counter to the dwarves. So Mountain Fog, not bad. Here is a big one. 275 at T7. Charge plus 10, so it gains 30, so you can get 60% charge. That's big. And then if both land, you're looking at 550 physical damage. That is huge. Alright, so we're on to his passive ability, Toole of the King. He gains 1% potency for every 2% of charge. Gains 15% dodge when he has invisibility. If Toole takes no damage during the turn, at the start of his next turn, he recovers 20% charged. Tybalt gains the same effects. He loses 10% charge on taking damage, and then applies Earth Power to Bold Air at the start of battle. So let's break this down. You start with the Mountain Fog. You land both those hits, you give yourself 60% charge. You're upping your potency by 30 right off the bat. Huge. Huge for his move kit. 15% dodge under visibility. 2% dodge has been removed. He's going to be harder to hit. And just like strictly by having his passive maxed, you recover 20% charged if you don't take damage. So if he didn't take damage after he uses his Mountain Fog, he's going to get 60% if you have the T7 on there. Then he'll put another 20 on there. He's almost at 100% charged already. Tybalt gains the same effects. That's pretty interesting. We're going to break down Tybalt eventually, but that is just something to keep in mind. The 10% charge on taking damage, we've seen that, and then applies Earth Power to Bold Air at the start of battle, which we don't really know what that is yet. And then the T7 ability on this, he gains 40 dodge when invisible. That is huge, and then recovers 30% charge on his next turn. We're just going to move on from that. We're going to jump over, we're going to talk about what we learned from his move kit. So we're going to talk a little bit of his move kit takeaways, right? And one thing I'm going to tell you right now, he needs more potency than just relying on his passive ability. His passive ability really, really helps. But you need more than that, because you're not always going to have the max charge and all this stuff. You want to try to hit him right around 75% potency, which is extremely easy to do when we talk about runes. We're going to go over that. But that's something I wanted to share with you now instead of after we break him down. And he does need a little bit more potency. Bleed. New mechanic worked into the dwarf race, right? But it also raises his plug-and-play value huge. He can get bleed going pretty rapidly. And if you make him fast, He's constantly putting out that bleed, and the team that I've played around with, that I found a lot of success with as an incomplete faction for the dwarves, works out pretty well. But I like that bleed. It ups that plug and play value for me. Plus, it also gives you a little damage over time. You gotta watch the charge with Toole. And what I mean by that is, you gotta pay attention to how much charge you have. Because is it beneficial to, if you're at 80% charged and you have invisibility up, you might not want that mountain fog up, right? Or something like that. That's just an example of what I wanted to talk about, is you gotta watch your charge. When is it gonna be beneficial? If you don't have enough charge to up your potency, to only get that one potency tenacity check for the bleed, maybe you basic. Something like that. Always watch your charge with Toole. It's going to benefit you greatly. And then in his move kit, there's a lot of this and that. To get ability block, you need this. To get heal block, you need this. When he's invisible, it does this. So there's a lot of this and that. And again, it just goes to show the complexity of this dwarf race and how they're building this complex unit. And I really can't wait to play them all and get them all together. But that's his move kit takeaway. So we're going to jump over to runes, and we're going to talk about that. Now, some of you might have already noticed I have him runed with speed and potency. Now, that's the way I'd recommend you rune him. It's 4 speed, 2 potency. Alright? You could go crit damage on this guy and crit chance. It does make him hit a little harder on the critical chance because he has pretty solid crit chance. But you really want those debuffs to stick, and you want them to cycle through those rotations because they're relatively cool. Plus, or low, not cool. Ugh. Plus, what you got to think about is when he's invisible, he gains that dodge. So you constantly want to get that mountain fog back down. But another way to think about ruining him would be damage with 2 potency. But the best way I've found to ruin him is the standard 4 speed, 2 potency, and what I'll be looking for in the secondaries are as follows. I'm going to look for speed. I want to make sure every rune, if I can get it, has speed. Every rune has potency. Every rune has damage, crit chance, and then you're going to look for survivability. That dodge increase is going to make him last a little bit longer, but you still got to build up his survivability. So we're going to jump over to the rune amulet. We're going to talk about that. So we talked about his rune amulet, and inside his rune amulet, we have the speed and potency. Now, you do get some gear bump with the gear 12 on there, or gear 11 plus going to gear 12, but it should not change the way you rune him. Now, we have damage, shield, potency, speed, and health. I went for the speed primary in the northeastern rune. We got some damage, shield, potency, and health again. I went for armor because I got 8 speed on it with some potency. Down here, I went straight damage. You could go crit chance, but I just put a damage because I picked up 5 speed with some potency, a little more damage, and a little armor. Here, shield or health doesn't really matter. You're looking for straight sub-stats in the southwestern rune slot. So here, I really like this rune. I picked up some health, crit chance, I picked up some speed, and some potency. And then, of course, I went potency in the northwestern rune with a little bit of speed and then some survivability. So what did it do to his stats overall? Now remember, we're just going to look at what we gained. I did pick up 274 physical damage. Pretty happy there. Crit chance, I only gained that 1% off that one rune, and I'm okay with that. Now you could get this crit chance up to right around 40-45% if you really wanted to, and it would benefit his damage output. But I like to use him more to spread out those debuffs, because other than armor decrease, you don't see a lot of other debuffs from Zappy and Boardwin. His health, I gained 1384, physical armor and magic armor 1.72% and 1.61%. Shield, I got up 4,087. So his health and shield combination is right around 56k. Extremely happy with that. Speed, I picked up 72, and potency, look at that, 43.44%. I got him over that 75% threshold, which I wanted to. So let's jump into a fight and kind of see his mechanics work. Now I'm going to take him into the tier level 16 on the scroll challenge. It's a good fight to show off abilities, and this is the team I've been running. I have Toole, Zappy, and Boardwin, obviously. Then I have Titania in there. I have Titania in there because she spreads bleed around, which helps out Toole. Then I have Solius as the lead, giving 25% more damage to physical and magic damage. And then I'm getting some heals in there as well. I found this comp to work out extremely well with the 3 dwarves that we have, and it's actually really fun to play. So we're going to jump into this battle, and you're going to kind of see what I'm talking about, and we'll talk through it so you can see how this works. And once we get to a comfortable spot where it's just overkill, I'll start breaking down the character a little bit more. Now, one thing the dwarfs is missing is still a dispeller, for sure. A lot of races are missing that. But we have Zappy here. She's going to put it on 2 allies. Now, if we have the tier 7, it'd be a lot bigger because we get it to all. But we're going to start with that move. Okay, here with Toole. Now, we have his basic and his Mountain Fog. We're going to start with the Mountain Fog, so you can see that. Gains his 20% charged. Now, with Boardwin, Boardwin can come through and he can put on his drilling blow, but we're at 35%, so we could definitely do this. But there's really, we could maybe try to strip some of those buffs. But we're going to go with the third ability here, where it restores 20% charge. And we're just going to keep chipping away at Hera. We're going to taunt with Titania. See, we're putting on that bleed. Bleed is huge. Now, back to Zappy. We don't have armor decrease up, so we're just going to kind of basic this one. Now, we're back to Toole. And right here, attacks an enemy 2 times. Each hit deals 215 physical damage, 20% charge, we have 40, 20% chance to act bleeding if both hit, affect bleeding, and ability block. So we are going to try to go after somebody. He might dodge this, because he does have the dodge increase, but there we go, 3 bleeds and ability block. Now we're going to come through and put on the armor decrease with Boardwin. And we're going to cheat death that. Now he got hit, so he's not going to gain that extra charge. And look how much that took down his charge on the AoE. So just that's quite a bit. We're going to prolong that armor decrease. I'm going to come through. Start chipping away. Now we're going to go down to his 1 basic ability here. Heal up. Get some more charge back. Come through with the basic, and then we'll move on to the next round. Now, we have 20% charge on him, so that's going to give us a chance to put on that armor decrease, and then if the second blast and we hit the armor decrease, it's going to give us healing block. There we go. Basic. Get some more charge. Put up that Mountain Fog. Get the taunt back up. We might lose Titania here. Oh, clutch dodge. Armor decrease. Prolong them. Get that daze up. Let's see if we can get rid of Yogi. Close. Now, we have an armor decrease and a daze, so second ability would come in so we can ability block. Let's get rid of Yogi. Yeah, we lost Titania. That's okay. For the purpose of this is fine. So you can see we're doing some pretty decent damage with no T7s on. Armor decrease. The crit chance of this attack. Let's go after Renara. Heal block. That's big versus Renara. Let's get some of that charge back. Prolong that armor decrease in days. Oh, lost Soleus too. Mountain Fog gets rid of Renara. Putting on that bleed, AoE. Get rid of Roxy. And there we go. So you can kind of see, wasn't the best example because we lost some people, but you can kind of see exactly what we were going for and how that team plays out. So Toole. Toole brings a lot of good things, and I actually love the way he plays. I like the dodge increase off invisibility. It's like the rogue going into the shadows. I like that he can inflict bleed because he's a rogue. And you think about them being stealthy, using knives, silent assassins. Really like that touch to him. He is really interesting and really fun to play with, and I think he has a ton of potential even outside of the Dwarf faction. With a bleed team under Reval, it's going to help out big because Reval does the number of total bleeds out. That one move's putting out 3 bleeds alone, and I really think that is going to be big in the grand scheme of things. Big plug and play character. You could build him for damage so you can get through fights quicker if you wanted to, but I like cycling through the rotation of his moves way faster. So Toole, super cool character. If you got him and you're working on him, he's going to be pivotal in other areas besides the dwarfs as well. He'd be a good plug and play character, I feel, for tournaments. I just really like the way Toole is built and put together. So that is what I got for everybody tonight. I hope you liked this noob series for Toole. I hope you have him, unlocked him, and can start messing around, and I hope this benefits you to kind of know what to expect when you're playing Toole. So if you're just finding me for the first time and you're liking what you're seeing, click that subscribe button, like videos, share them. After this goes live, later that day, we will be updating the Hell Hades Dragon Champions website with this noob guide, so you can go over there and check it out. Link will be down in the description below. So for all my XMG family members out there, you know I love you. I'll see you all in the next one. I'm out.